Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine, rise and shine. How's it going, everybody? Nice to have you. Thanks for joining. Boy, oh boy, US dollar inflation negative, eh? Yeah, quite interesting. Well, one of the interesting things too is that when you look at the daily time frame, remember we were talking about this daily supply zone? You remember that? We were talking about it on Monday. I was mentioning, yeah, we had short-term buying taking place, but we also had that supply area here that price was going to be heading into. And that's exactly what took place. Price headed right into it. So let's take a look at what's going on in these markets because I think this supply here played a key role in why the markets are reacting the way they are. Now, you could say, well, the data was negative, so that's why people are responding in that negative way. But I also want you to recognize something, okay? When we take a look at, let's just close this down for now. When we take a look at where are you? Right here. The positions of the institutions when it comes to the euro. Let's take a look at the euro, okay? Here it is. Look at the positioning here. 248, 248, 247. Maximum all-time largest position the banks have ever held with the euro long is 266. All right, so we're just shy of that, which is telling me that the banks are looking for reasons to trigger retail traders into buying the euro, because they're at max, okay? And so what just took place? Okay, price dropped into this area of demand. We were actually looking for a long signal here. I mentioned it to students. 15-minute wasn't producing one. I said 1 hour is probably going to be better odds. Right here was 2 week, and then it started building up momentum up here. Here could have been one. I didn't go for it. I thought it was too low of a time frame, so I looked at the 1 hour chart, and this is what we had. Take a look here, okay? So we had price drop in. Look how weak it was. And then when price did create the bullish engulf, it was too late. The data had kicked in already, okay? Here was kind of gave us a signal. I didn't see that one at the time. I was looking at it here, and then the news came out, the data came out, and it was taken off. But anyways, the point I'm making here is that banks are looking for somebody to take off their long positions from them, right? So interesting how the inflation data came out mixed, but mostly negative. US dollar dropped, and everybody started buying the euro. So I think that's very interesting, and I want you guys to recognize that because, again, when we look at CFTC data, we see that they are maxed out on long positions, and they're going to need to offload those positions, okay? So I think what's happening here at these highs is the banks are focusing on offloading a position. Now, we had price come up here. We were looking for shorts, okay? And we didn't get the move that we had anticipated. It fell short. If I switch it down to the 1 hour time frame and open it up, I'll show it to you. All right. We had, where was it? Where was it that we took the short? Was it on this chart? Maybe I laid, oh, it's on this chart here, right here, right here. Here's the short, fell short of hitting the target. We got out at break even because it started making a move back to the upside. We didn't like the way it was looking. We got out at break even. But look, it did end up coming down, just hit the demand and took off. Now I'm going to be looking at the 1 hour time frame for a potential short because it's way up there. We're in supply. And so I'm going to be paying attention to this, okay? So pay attention because right now we got RSI. Look at that number, 80. This is crazy. This is like significantly overbought. And overbought, but on the right time frame that you need to be looking at, which is the 1 hour, okay? In my opinion, the 1 hour, as price is reacting off of that daily area of supply. So I'm going to be looking at that and watching for a potential move to the downside from these highs. I think it's in a pretty good spot, okay? 4 hour, could there be a signal? Yeah. Would it be a safer signal to look at the 4 hour as opposed to? Yeah, Probably a safer signal to look at the 4-hour for RSI to slow down and produce bearish engulf. But my instincts tell me look at the 1-hour chart. So price is contacting some supply. I'm going to be focusing on the 1-hour time frame for a reversal signal. And if we get that, we can get a nice move down here. Okay, we're now officially contacting this supply. This move up could have been just to lure retail traders in. This is a supply zone, big institutional supply. We're in supply now, caused by data that got people triggered to buy. So I think this is a good opportunity here. Okay. So as you could see from the red circle and the green circle and the arrows, this is what I pointed out to members. Watch for a move up, look for a short signal when this zone gets contacted, and boom. I got in short prior when we fell short of hitting that supply, with the anticipation that maybe it's just going to drop from here. But now we've actually contacted. This is a much better signal, in my opinion. So I'm going to be watching for that for today, tomorrow, as long as it takes. This is what I'm going to be watching for. Plus, there is 4-hour divergence on the euro US dollar. Yeah, higher high and RSI is at the same. Yeah, it's basically, we know what this means, right? We talked about it with members, the RSI, and what it really represents. It's buying power, okay? When they're making a new high, but the buying power isn't so strong, that means the banks may be buying, but they're not buying like they were before, okay? I think most of this push to the upside was retail traders, big hedge funds, those that are not in the know of what's really going on, buying because of the data release, okay? Excuse my slurping. Anyways, so this is looking good. I want you guys to be focused on that. Let's look at the pound. Woo! Wow, we're back up there. We are back up there at that supply that we contacted here before. Could there be a signal to the downside? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we could see a signal because if the euro drops, this drops. But oh, look at this. I'm seeing something interesting here. I'm seeing significant buying that came in here, right here. So what I want to do is I want to mark that off. Watch for a move to the downside if this is broken. Okay, so that's what I do. And I'm going to place an alert here just above this zone because I want to be notified when price is coming into that area. Price is coming down towards the 4-hour area of buying. Okay, there you go. So I'm going to watch for that. You know why? Because right now the banks are telling me that they're buying short term, and here's the spot where they're creating that buying from. Okay, right here. So what I'm going to be watching for is if price comes down, breaks through that, then guess what they're going to be doing? They're going to be short-term selling. And so if I'm looking for a short position, what do you think I want to do? I want to wait for price to rally back up to those selling areas so I can participate in a short position, okay? So this is looking pretty good for a setup. I got to tell you, I'm liking this. Hitting a tested supply, not a huge fan, but we can get confirmation that they're selling when we look at the 4-hour time frame. So I like that. So I'm going to, before I forget, I'm going to draw a circle here indicating sell. And where do I want to sell to? Yeah, at least down to here. So I'm going to be covering around here. Okay, right here. So let's draw in our arrows like that. And so we need that area to be taken out first. That is a must. There is no selling unless this area is taken out first. So that's what you have. The area needs to be sold, rally up into supply, or look for confirmation to sell short on a lower time frame, and then bada boom, look for that move to the downside. Okay, so that looks pretty good for pound. I'm liking it. So if that's going to go down, then we're looking at dollar pairs to go up. I don't see really anything nice here. US Swiss just coming back down. Yeah, US dollar, Japanese yen, nothing really here that I like. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. How did that react? Fell short of hitting demand. Unbelievable. And we had no supply here to enter into a long trade from. Members know what I'm talking about. I might be talking gibberish to some of you, but if you're a member or you've been following us long enough, you'd know exactly what I'm talking about. We are looking for a potential short here on the Aussie. When price got up here, didn't happen, no trade. Okay, but what we should take note of is that there's some buying here that came into play. So we're going to watch that. So move to the downside. Supply is still in play. We contacted that supply there. We called for the short. That took place. And now we're falling short of hitting that area again. I still think this is going to go down. Just going to take some time. I think the highest odds, though, is the euro. I like the euro the most. Pound is my second favorite. So I'll be focused on those two charts going forward. Okay, today's Tuesday. Oh, sorry. What the hell, what is today? I'm so lost. When you live a life like mine, you sometimes get lost. Today's Wednesday. Oh boy, look at the S&P 500. Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. I like this move to the upside. I really do. So we had ranging that was taking place. It just took out significant supply. And what do you think it's coming in with here? Significant buying. If we get, if valid, look for longs here. Period. Why would I look for longs there? Because that's where the significant buying is coming in from the banks. You wouldn't want to buy up here because your stop loss, do you know where your stop loss would have to be? It'd have to be below the zone, right? Below this area here. That's quite a distance. So you wait for it to drop. Wait for confirmation to prove to you that the banks are coming in and buying. I'm pretty sure they're going to buy there. But, you know, don't take this as advice. You know, you take your own risks and you watch for the proper price action, okay? But the banks are buying here and the banks are buying here. That's what I can tell you, okay? And they begun all this buying further back at weekly demand. Where's that weekly demand zone? Monthly demand, okay, weekly demand didn't come into play, fell short, now daily, yeah. So I've been looking for trades down here. So this is good. I mean, the banks are telling us that they're interested in buying. Ideally, I would have wanted them to drop price down here. This is what I wanted to see, was a drop down here, because I would have eaten this up. And we would have had so many more trading opportunities from there, but whatever. It didn't get down there. So what we have to do now, since we were waiting for it to come down into a weekly demand zone, and they basically are telling us we're not interested in dropping it down all the way to the $6,000 area to continue with significant buying. We're buying now, okay? So that's what they're telling us. We're buying now, and we're buying at the 640, 6422 area, between 63.87, 64.22 area. So when they buy, we listen, okay? So that could be a good spot here. So again, I wouldn't just buy blindly. I would wait for selling. I have my long-term target up here. So basically, I'm going to be watching for price to drop into here. And then, you know, target here. I think that's a good target. And if you want to hold even longer, you target up here in this area here. Okay? And boom. There we go. Okay? So I'm going to wait for price to come down here. I'm going to look at the lower time frame. You could do it many different ways. You could watch the RSI on the 1 hour time frame. You could watch the RSI on, or you can watch for trade signals on the 1 hour time frame. So breaking a trend line, removing opposing supply areas, all that good stuff that we teach at White Oak FX. All right, so that looks pretty good. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq. Yeah, this is strong. Yeah, it broke out of the supply earlier, it looks like. Ooh, and it produced demand. Wow, 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 wow. Let me take a look at that again. Oh, yeah. It produced demand here. This is institutional buying right here. Look, just fell short of hitting it. So close. but this was institutional buying, okay? They came, bought, and away she goes. And look at that supply. Look at it react from supply. Look at the big reaction. That must have been the news. Reacting from supply again, and then boom, away she goes. It's great. It's great. Really good. All right, so let's look at the Dow Jones. Not quite there yet, but look at that reaction from that demand area. So no supply to be removed. Yeah, probably this imbalance is probably going to be a good spot to watch for its removal. I don't see any reason why this wouldn't continue higher. Okay, and let's look at the Magnificent Seven before I let you go. Because Apple, I'm looking for a long on Apple. Looking for a drop to daily demand, which is good because that's exactly what we're looking for on the S&P 500, right? Amazon, I had drawn this zone here and I wrote long. Should we take a long there? Because I wasn't sure about the quality of that zone and whether there'd be a good signal. But look, a nice reaction off of there. So we could get a continued move to the upside. I'm monitoring this one for that. Google, we had a long signal on this one. Played out perfectly. I gave this to members. I said, drop down to this area, buy. And if it falls short, you look for the signal in the lower time frame, which was on the 1 hour time frame. And here was the signal right here. Institutional demand coming in. Wait for a retracement to demand. I mean, come on. That is just ridiculous. I mean, look at the risk to reward on that one, okay? Look. And not just that, but look at how you get triggered and there's like hardly any drawdown. Look how much of a move it already made. 8 to 1 risk to reward, okay? With what? How much drawdown? Like nothing. No drawdown. You get triggered, you're in, and that's it. I mean, it's kind of crazy just how accurate you can get with supply and demand trading. Meta, very strong, came into a weekly demand zone here. You see that on the weekly time frame? Okay. Came into weekly demand, boom, took off. Waiting for the signal again. Microsoft looks like it's coming down into some demand area here and then starting to buy. I'm not liking these stair steppers, as we call them. These stair steppers, I'm not too big of a fan of that. NVIDIA, demand down below. I think it's too high. I'd wait for it to pull back. Tesla is setting up. Tesla is setting up. Institutional buying down here. I'm waiting for price to drop or fall short and give me a signal. We'll see which one it wants to do, but I got targets higher up, okay? One of you mentioned gold. Yeah, let's take a look at gold. Not doing much. Not doing much. It's in a range. To try to trade this one right now is risky. I've done it. I've been successful, and I've been not successful. So it's risky to trade at this point, okay? So I would just stay away. Euro is so much more clear. All right, it's hitting supply. We know that they want to take profits on their long positions. It's all there for you, okay? So I would stick with what's higher odds. All right, folks, that's it. If you like the information I give to you, I think it's pretty good information. I've worked over the last 13 years on learning the markets this way. I've been very successful doing it. I have a school of thousands of people that I teach every day, every week. Trade signals, classes, you name it, we do it. We do homework, all that good stuff. If you want to learn with us, whiteoakfx.com. If you're not quite ready to jump in, even though we give you 1 week for free so you can see for yourself, at least support us by hitting the like button, subscribing, hitting the notification bell. That way you can get notified every time we do a new video like this. That's good. Or come to our Telegram channel. Links on our website at the bottom, whiteoakfx.com. We'd love to have you, okay? Our community is building bigger and bigger every single week, and it's lovely to have you guys with me. All right, I'm here to help you become successful traders. I promise you that. All right, you take care. We'll talk to you soon. Take care, everyone.